Hello everyone, it's me again, Steedoj here, back with some more Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2, but this time we'll be talking about all of the buffs and nerfs in DLC 10, and there are 103 of them. I know this video is coming about later than usual, because normally, the people who figure this out do this before the DLC comes out, but I think there was a lot of things that they wanted to check too, like the Oob story mode and things like that, so let's not be impatient, alright? Just be glad that we're getting it anyways. Now, there are 103 moves in this, and it's quite a flipping long list. But without further ado, I will start from the top and to the bottom. And the first few changes we have are Super God Fist is made easier to connect with. Super Dragon Fist, you can't vanish out of it anymore. Instant Transmission, shorter time before you reappear. Kaioken, additional inputs now cause the follow-ups. That's kind of interesting, I want to see how that's like. You cannot Z-vanish out of the move, and you lose a small amount of health if you use the follow-up attacks. Interesting. So Kaioken actually works like Kaioken. You actually lose health now for using Kaioken moves. A bit silly because the move didn't really get any buffs aside from being unvanishable, but I guess it's worth it. You lose health for using an unvanishable. I think that's fair. Again, obviously, do not forget to like and subscribe if you enjoy these changes or not, because there's going to be a lot of them. I know Kaioken got a pretty radical one. A few others got radically changed, but again, obviously, leave a like as it shows your support to the video, and don't forget to subscribe as you can stay up to date. Whether it be Xenoverse 2, Fighters, Kakarot, just lend me the subscription, mate. I'll keep you up to date, and I'll try my best to produce good content. Super After Image, they change the distance you could vanish, and you need less ki to move now. Charge does less damage, and additional inputs can make you cancel it. This DLC is weird, they changed so many things. It apparently also reduces ki. See, even he had to put a question mark, because that doesn't make sense to me. Light Grenade, that seems like an empty slot. Evil Eyes, they increase the speed of the hit detection. Orin combo, I don't know. Destructive Disc has been made easier to hit with. Destructive Disc Barrage, which I assume they mean Chain Destructive Disc, the ultimate, is now easier to use in knockbacks, so maybe it's just like ungodly fast now. Saturday Crash has also been easier to use in knockbacks. Shining Friday is now more resilient. It will sit there for a bit longer even if it collides with another Ki Blast. And Shine Shot can be activated while blocking. Ooh, I see a cancel move over here, just like Aura Slide. Made it so that the opponent can escape when hit. I have no idea what that means. Could you not use the evasives before when you got hit by that? Made it so you can cancel the move with a dash or a step straight after activating. So you could use the move just to escape someone's combo and then dash into a, melee combo. That Shine Shot might be like more ridiculous than any Ki Cancel or Ki Stun could possibly be right now. Part 2 of the buffs and nerfs we have here, starting with Death Crasher. The move is easier to connect against knockback opponents, I guess. Crazy Finger Shot is easier to connect against knockback opponents. Finish Buster made it easier to connect to knockback opponents, increased damage and the speed of the blast. Ouch. Final Cannon is easier to connect moves when the opponent is near the top of the map. I think it's always worked like that, so that's not really an update. Endless Shoot made it easier to hit a knocked back opponent. Holding the button makes you continue to shoot blast at the cost of a ki. Now that's what I'm talking about. Now Endless Shoot is actually an Endless Shoot. Holy crap, they actually made the move way better. Like, Endless Shoot is the one I'm hyped with by it the most so far. I mean, aside from Kaioken, obviously. But Endless Shoot is sounding pretty cool right now. Perfect Shot easier to connect with. Justice Rush increased damage. Eagle Kick easier to connect with. Made easier to connect attacks after a hit. Add invincibility frames at the start of the move. Made it do more damage to guarded enemies. So it'll probably do more stamina and health damage, but I don't know. Hawk Charge made it easier to connect against knockback opponents. Ouch. Vanishing Ball made it easier to connect against knockback opponents. When used while in Purification, the opponent will have a different knockback and allows for follow-up combos. So I'm guessing if you use a Vanishing Ball while in pure form, you could just dash up to the person and melee them again. Or you could probably just throw out like another Vanishing Ball, because the move doesn't take that long to fire, right? If you could dash up someone and punch them, you could probably also just throw the move again. And then again. And then again, right? I don't know, I need to see an action. Pearl Flash made it easier to connect against knockback opponents. It's a dash super, how would they not do that already? Made it so that it breaks God when fully charged while you're in Purification mode. Okay, Purification is kind of sounding worth it because of all these crazy buffs. Dada Missile Barrage, easier to connect when knocked back, and Super Donut Volley, easier to connect when knocked back. Okay, page 2 done. A few interesting things there, not the most grander things, but we got a few Purification updates, which is neato, lovely, I love it. onto the third set of pages. When I say pages, I mean like the pages I took, not the way they set it, because they only have 2 pages. Aside from that, next move on the list is Bigo Banga Taku. Made it easy to connect against knockback opponents, and now the move takes less time to activate. That might mean the move also does less damage, because the time it took to activate made it actually do a ton of damage at point blank range. But I don't know, we'll see. Spirit Finger Shot. I'm sure this is supposed to be Split Finger Shot, but yeah, you get it. Made it so the move is easy to connect against knockback opponents, and made it so that every part of the move is easier to connect with. So if Split Finger Shot actually has all of the hits connect, it becomes one of the easily most overpowered super attacks of all time. But we'll have to see how easy these are to actually connect. Blaster Shell, slightly reduced damage. Okay, did a lot of damage before. Gigantic Meteor made it easier to hit a knockback opponent with. Now hold on, Gigantic Meteor easier to hit knockback opponents with? Is it gonna be like ungodly fast now, or is it gonna just activate a bit sooner? Because that's kind of confusing to me. Present for You, slightly reduced damage. Rage Sorcery, easier to hit with, made it so that you cannot change lock on during the move. Made it so that the opponent is knocked back on the first and second hits. Okay, Rage Sorcery is looking pretty good right now, actually. Meteor Crash, made it so that you can't Z-vanish out of it. So now Meteor Crash is actually unvanishable. To be honest, I feel like Meteor Crash did need this buff for kind of a while. The move is so easy to punish, like it's a joke. Burst Charge, increase the amount of ki restored when activating the move. Oh, is Burst Charge actually useful now? Because before it only gave you like a smidgen of ki, then became absolutely worthless. Infinity Explosion, made easier to hit with. Android Kick, made easier to hit with, and increased damage too. Hoo-hoo. Phantom Fist, increase the amount of stamina restored when the move succeeds, and made it so that you face your opponent when the move ends. That's alright, but the thing about Phantom Fist is, again, you don't see as much people use it, because 1, it takes ki, and 2, ki blast cancelling is just a more effective version of it, so there's no reason why Phantom Fist or After Image, any of those moves should really exist. Finishing Blow, I don't know why this one is blank, but I'm sure Finishing Blow has had something done to it, because that move is already kind of wild, so I'm kind of curious. Life Absorption, now this move is unique to First Form Cell, but you actually get more health back for using it now. So, I don't know, maybe it's going to be a ridiculous amount, or maybe it's just a bit more than before. Wild Hunt, when used against a knocked back opponent, makes it so that you teleport to them. Now, I think this is actually sick. Wild Hunt was kind of a generic standard I'm Orin combo, but worse kind of move. Now it's like a vanish move, like Savage Strike and the new Dragon Blitz. I do like how it's a teleporting move now if the enemy is knocked back. Like, that's just sick! Next on the list is Emperor's Edge, does more damage. It kind of needed that for a while to keep up with the other Golden Frieza moves that got buffed ages ago. Rocket Punch, easier to connect with in a knockback. This is unique to Android 16, and I think it was already fine to hit with a knockback in, but whatever. Android Rush, increased follow-up hit damage, so the combination attacks that come after the first few hits will do more damage, and it's easier to actually connect the following up attacks. So yay, it's pretty cool. Maybe you'll see more people using 16. Faint Rush, I'm sure this is supposed to be Faint Crash. I'm 100% sure this is supposed to be Faint Crash. It's easier to connect with. Southern Storm, also easier to land. Rakusha's Claw, easier to hit with. I think it was fine to hit with, because they did buff it to like perfection now, but whatever. Super Mad Dance got changed, but I don't know why this is blank. We'll see what that change was later, I'm sure. Mouth Cannon, a short-ranged ki blast. Okay. The short-ranged version of Mouth Cannon, as well as the mid and long-ranged version, have all had increased damage to them. Now, it's weird that they would be listed as 3 different like things, even though they're all kind of the same move. I do want to believe that different versions of it do more damage than others, but it doesn't say that here, so it's probably not the case. Evil Roar also has increased damage. Okay, that's the Dynamic Evasive, actually. So I'm kind of curious, why would an Evasive need to do more damage? Dodori's Headbutt has increased damage. Destruction Concerto's Comet, easier to connect with, increase the damage of the placed Ki Blast, and increase the damage when used with the other move that joins with this. Fair enough. Same thing happened to Concerto's Starfall, increased damage of the placed Ki Blast, and it's also easier to connect with. And Destruction's Meteor, but now when the Meteor is used with the Conductor, it will increase to 5 Ki Blasts. I think Meteor used to be just 2 Ki Blasts when you would end the move. But now it's 5 Ki Blasts, which should make it better, but I don't think anyone used Meteor's second feature. People just kind of used it to extend combos. But now, the second feature looks like it will be actually worth it. And the next moves that got buffed were God of Destruction's Conductor. Apparently it was unblockable before, because now it's made blockable, and also when you land the move, you'll get 50 ki. I know that sounds weird, but 50 ki is actually only half a bar of ki, so really, you could just punch the person with one heavy attack and you'd probably get that same amount. God of Destruction's Roar now takes more stamina from someone when they get hit by the move, because God of Destruction's Roar forces people into blocks so that way it can drain their stamina, and it takes even more now. The move, in my opinion, God of Destruction's Roar is quite a top tier move. No one just uses it because, I don't know, they're either too lazy or too scared of being attacked. I don't know. It's very top tier in my opinion. God Splitter is easier to connect with, alright? The move was already pretty easy to land in my opinion, just my opinion. Now we are moving on to the next page of moves, and this will feature a lot of, like, you know, fused Zamasu moves and Goku Black moves, all with very identical buffs to them. But page 3, my page 3, starts off with Heavenly Arrow. Slightly decreased damage, so its damage got nerfed, but you can't dodge out of the move when hit. Now, you couldn't vanish out of the move already, so I'm going to assume that what they mean is once this move hits you, you cannot evasive either. Pretty fair in my opinion, because they did lower the damage, so at least it's not going to be, like, absolutely crazy. But, yeah. Divine Retribution is now easier to hit knocked back opponents with, same with Reversal Launcher, Spirit Stab, Blades of Judgment, Lightning of Absolution, Light of Justice, which is actually a half-corrupted move, as well as Spiral of Condemnation. I don't know why those changes would have been made, but well, you can use Corrupted Fuse and Zamasu in the game, but still, I don't think those two moves are even hard to land in knockbacks. They're very easy, especially Light of Justice. That's just a wave that goes in front of you. Handy Cannon is also easier to hit with, although that doesn't really make much sense to me because the move was already kind of perfect, but whatever. Brave Sword Slash, which if I recall is Tapion's super, not his ultimate, that is Brave Sword Attack. Brave Sword Slash is easier to now hit with knockbacks. Power Impact is also easier to hit with knockbacks, although it was one of the easiest moves to hit with knockbacks already. Soaring Fist had something done to it, but it's unique to Ultra Instinct Goku, and it doesn't say what it is, so I do not know. Reverse Shot. They changed the direction of the knockback on Final Shot. I am very confused by this. What does this mean? I assume what this means is that the final Ki Blast fired in Reverse Shot, when it comes back to hit you, it will change the direction that you're knocked back in. I assume it should just knock you back in the direction of the person who fired it, so that way he can actually combo from the move, the same way Dimension Hole force knockbacks the person in the direction of the user, so that way they can combo you from it. But again, I don't know, I haven't used it yet. Variant Drive, decrease the time needed for the opponent to be able to Z-Vanish. I don't know what that means, because I don't even think you could have Z-Vanished out of that move. Revenged Final Flash, it has increased damage now. I didn't know if it needed extra damage, the move was pretty damn strong already, but I don't mind. Gigantic Charge is easier to hit a knockback opponent with now. Okay, this was what I'm talking about. Gigantic Charge is one of the only moves that's been listed here that actually kind of needs this, because Gigantic Charge is kind of inconsistent in knockbacks. Unrelenting Barrage, doesn't say what it does here, but it had something changed to it. And the same with Hellzone Grenade, something done to it, we don't know. Self-Destruct, the Crystal Raid version only, so only when you use it as a Crystal Raid Cyberman, not as a regular Cyberman. When the move hits now, it should only damage you instead of just stamina breaking you outright. It should only just hit you, but the first hit is blockable now. It's not unblockable. It's blockable. Death Meteor is now easier to connect. Angry Explosion has increased amount of hits when you use all of your ki for the move. Now, I don't know if this means that the move will also get more damage, because Angry Explosion is actually one of the strongest moves in the game. By far. There's a lot of moves even now that struggle to match Angry Explosion. And if increased the hits, that means that the damage could actually be less if you don't use the fully charged version of the move, which is what I assume it's going to be. Because if they increase the damage any further, I feel like there'd be some real issues. Elegant Blaster, after you appear, there's a decreased amount of time needed for the opponent to lock onto you, meaning that when you reappear from Elegant Blaster, the opponent can see you again pretty soon without having to look for you too much. That just makes the move even worse because it's really pretty easy to avoid. Sword of Hope made it so that you can take damage while drawing the sword when the attack starts. I'm assuming what they mean is by this is that after you pull out the sword and jump in the air to absorb the Spirit Bomb, that you can take damage. I don't know if that means that you can cancel the move if you just hit someone while they're jumping up in the air, or if, like, they take only health damage but still have, like, super armor. I don't know. Maybe you just have to grab people out of the move now. Psycho Escape made it so the opponent is invincible after they get hit by the move. Okay, I think they already were, but I don't know. Fake Ki Blast, fix the boxes, please. Made it so that the attacker is unable to move for a longer time after, you know, the attack. I think that's fair. I think that's fair, because Fake Ki Blast is really one of the most disgusting moves ever. So, you know, it can have that. The next one here is actually for a transformation, Power Pole Pro. They've made it so that when you press Ki Blast during combos, it adds extra moves in. I don't know what that means, but that sounds pretty interesting, and I'm going to have to check it out. Hit detection during a god is removed. I have no idea what that even means. Does that mean the person using the block for power pole doesn't take any damage if they get hit? Because if I recall, the damage, the god is like a spinning reflect kind of thing. So I guess it's kind of fair, because if someone hits you with a ki blast, the power pole would realistically deflect it in like the anime and stuff. That's normally what it does. But I don't know. Adjust an issue where aura burst dashing cost 100 stamina to be used. Yeah, because they did remove that recently. Aura burst dashes taking stamina. And adjust an issue when you jump when guarding, you couldn't come down. I don't know what that even means. Now, Turn Golden actually had quite a few done to it that I've already heard people like talk about a bunch. And I don't remember all of them right now, but I know all of them aren't listed here. Turn Golden now has decreased ki regeneration when used. Now, apparently, Turn Golden used to give you 50% ki when you hit things, but now it gives you minus 10%. I have no idea what that means. I assume you get less ki than you would in your base form by that meaning. So, Golden Freezers will have a hard time spamming you to death with ki blasts at least. So I'm happy about that. But now Golden Freezers, if I also recall, have a minus 15 defense stat. Before it was only minus 5, now it's minus 15, so... Jesus Christ. Golden Freezers are gonna not be as problematic, but at the same time, I do feel bad for the few out there that play it legit and now have to struggle even more with one. Super Saiyan Blue Evolution has increased ki gen when used, but this also doesn't state that in Blue Evolution actually has more defense now. I don't know what the percentages are defense-wise, but I do remember it was quite substantial. And I do also recall it should be faster than Super Saiyan Blue now, because before, I'm sure Evolution was way slower than... Not slower, but Evolution and Super Saiyan Blue had the same speed. Now Evolution should actually be faster than Blue. So that's good. If I recall, Evolution also does more damage, but that's not listed here. All the straight ki blast moves like Kamehameha, so this means things like Galactic Gun, Kamehameha times 10, all of those things, they are all easier to connect with now. So, yes, yay. I assume that this means that the enemy will actually be pulled into the ki blast, because this is something I actually mentioned in my How to Unlock video. When the AI were getting hit by Super Spirit Bomb, they would actually get pulled into the center of the move now, rather than being left in the corner. So I'm assuming all ki blasts do that now, and I hope they do, because that's actually one of the best features they've ever added, and it actually makes a move connect like it should. Charged ki blast. They're easier to hit with at stage 2. Now, I don't know which charged ki blast you're referring to here. I'm going to assume the generic ones like Rush and Power Ki Blast, because Paralysis Ki Blasts and Bomb Ki Blasts and Homing Ki Blast are all easy to connect with them in their own respective ways. Partner customization has been actually changed, and this will also lead into the beginning of the final page, page 4, my page 4. So, Mentor Goku has actually had more Super Souls added to him. I've already seen them before, and I did show them off in the everything in the free update video. He's got a Super Saiyan 4 full power Super Soul. This Super Soul is going to be wild, but so far, it doesn't seem like you can get it from Power Quest. I think it might just be a raid Super Soul, because it looks like the kind of thing that would be a raid Super Soul. Genuinely, from what I remember, this Super Soul was pretty amazing. He also has a Kaioken Super Soul, another one, I believe. So, that's pretty cool. It doesn't add everything here. For example, it doesn't say that Android 16 and Hercule also got new Super Souls, but it does actually have some character changes. Now, let me get into a few of them. The first character change is actually for Nappa. Nappa will actually have fast animations for his attacks now. So Nappa is actually better, like, period now. Because if Nappa's going to have some moves have faster animations, that just means he's better in general. Because, again, Nappa is one of those characters that just by looking at him, you can tell he's going to attack so slow. That's going to be an issue. But, you know, they've fixed that now, I guess. Android 17 has had some moves made faster. Now, the issue is, there are two Android 17s listed here. Android 17 and Super 17. I have such a hard freaking time figuring out if they mean Android 17 or Dragon Ball Super 17, or if Super 17 is GT Super 17 or Dragon Ball Super 17. It's kind of confusing, but either way, let's just assume all Android 17s have had their moves sped up until proven otherwise. Is that fair enough? I believe that's fair enough. Videl has had some moves improved in their speed department, so that's pretty damn good. Majin Buu also has Angry Explosion, thank Lord, finally added to his first preset. It can also be added to his Mentor preset. Now, if only if they added Super Saiyan to the Whis Gi and Whis Battlesuit Goku like we freaking wanted since they have come out. But I digress. Pan had her jump animation changed. This one is just weird to me, but I don't mind it. It's just kind of weird. It's kind of a nothing change. Hercule has had damage lowered for some of his attacks. Like, the developers have actually acknowledged that they made Hercule so OP that they had to nerf his damage. Like, think about that. They made him so strong that they had to nerf his damage. Now, this will actually contrast one of the other things later, but we'll see. Cooler, in his final form, actually has the speed of his heavy smash increased. I'm going to assume heavy smash is a heavy stamina break, because they usually refer to these things as smashes in the Super Souls as well. So Cooler's heavy stamina break is actually sped up only in his final form, which is cool because his final form of heavy stamina break is actually a reference to an attack he does in the movie. So I'm kind of glad that's being treated with a bit more respect. Zarbon has had some moves changed. Some moves will be faster, pretty, decent. Probably the worst one on this list, Hit and Hit Awoken, so both hits, not even just one. Both hits, quote-unquote, have an issue fixed where sometimes the opponent will get knocked back when stamina broken. So basically, I'm sure all of you guys know this, when Hit would stamina break someone, a lot of his combos couldn't utilize their final hit, meaning Hit would have some damage lost to him. And I felt everyone and their grandmother felt like this was an intentional thing, because Hit does so much goddamn damage that if he could use his full damage in a stamina break, you would just die over time guaranteed, and there's nothing you could do to stop it. So now that is actually the case. If Hit stamina breaks you, he can eat you alive, because his combos will not drop sometimes. Well, I shouldn't say drop. You would get knocked back on the second to last hit, so that way the final hit doesn't connect, because they knew the final hit does way too much damage. So if you could get those in a stamina break, it'd be instant death all the time. But now, that's actually the case. The weird part is that it calls this an issue, and says it sometimes happens. This is the thing that happens all the time, every time Hit stamina broke someone. But then now they're passing off as an issue, which is a bit annoying. It's like they're saying, oh no, this Hit was supposed to do this much damage. Yeah, right, alright. Like, as if that guy needs to be any easier to use, but whatever. I don't struggle with hits too much on Xbox, so this isn't too much of a problem for me. The last one on the list. And guys, don't forget to leave a like for this one. This one is quite stupendous. Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready, kids? Training mode now resets Xenoverse and Super Souls when you press the restart button. It's not as big as I hyped it up to be, I'll be honest. But I'm actually glad for this, because someone who actually, like, wants to use a different super attack every video. Like, let's say, for example, I want to make a video of, I don't know, something is more overpowered than it used to be now. Yeah, now I can actually, like, test in training mode properly with Limit Burst and Super Souls. Hallelujah! That is the end of the 103 buffs and nerfs in Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2 DLC 10. Quite an interesting list, a very long list. Not as long as the last one, to be honest. And the changes are a lot less, like, impactful, I should say. Because the changes are mostly just, oh, when you hit someone, when you knock someone back, it's easier to hit them. So, it's not too grand, but I'm glad that they actually do make some things easier to use, because, thank the Lord. Other than that, that'll be the end of this video. Guys, if you enjoyed the video, please let me know by leaving a like on the video. Don't forget to subscribe, as it greatly supports the channel. Leave a comment down below of what you'd like to see next. Don't forget, leave a comment down below also of what your favorite thing is that got buffed or nerfed in this update, or how do you think the game will change from these respective buffs and nerfs. Please let me know in the comment section again, obviously. Love you all, and I will see you all next time. Take care. Peace.